It's Monday, September 29th, and it's time for Q&A, and we've got some good ones today. Patty wants to know about help with bloating. Her tummy is always bloated. I've got you, Patty, because we're not available for that. We want our tummies nice and flat. Would my cookbooks be good for someone who doesn't eat gluten or dairy? Yes, I'll tell you what, there's no gluten in my cookbooks. There is some dairy, but we'll talk about that. And Tiffany asks, how do I keep from getting bored walking? And I've got some ideas. And I'm also going to answer some really quick questions that just came in over the weekend. What kind of foundation do I use? How do I get my skin to look so glowy during pictures? And what are those food storage containers that I love so much? And you can find all of these things in the same place. So before we dive in, real quick shout out and introduction. I'm Elizabeth from Happy, Healthy, and Hot, 59-year-old double certified health and weight loss coach, author, content creator, and three-time finalist in the Maximum Cover Girl competition. Found out Friday afternoon. I did not make it moving forward to the cover. And I am so incredibly grateful for the entire experience. I will always say that there was life before Maximum Cover Girl, and there is life after Maximum Cover Girl. And I am a better woman for having entered this competition, not just once, three times. Zero regrets, so much growth, so much creativity, so many amazing connections. I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. And I know that the best is yet to come. And yes, I still want to be in a magazine cover, and I will forever be sharing my message that it's time to tell a new story about aging, that we can love our bodies and our lives at any age. And I will drop links. I will drop a link that takes you to everything, my cookbooks, my journal, my LTK shop. I'm going to drop that in the caption. So if you want to check out any of the things we talk about today. So let's start with Patty and the bloating, because I know that this is something I hear from so many women. And I know sometimes we talk about menno belly and stuff like that. We can give it all kinds of names, but we're not available for bloating and puffiness in our abdomen. And it generally is digestive. So, I've shared multiple times my top 5 tips. Sometimes I've thrown a bonus tip for a flat belly. Today, we are going to focus on the ones that they really all, though, can affect bloating. So, we're just going to dive right into them. So I've been saying for years, prioritize protein and produce. Build your meals around high quality, protein dense, real food. Real food, not protein bars, not protein powder. In fact, that stuff can lead to bloating. A lot of it can. Some of the bars that have the fiber and the protein from questionable sources, the fiber is sometimes wood pulp, no lie. Cellulose is many times wood pulp. That will absolutely can lead to bloating. Real food, prioritize protein and produce, build your meals around high quality protein dense foods. We are talking beef, fish, poultry, eggs, maybe some high protein dairy if that doesn't mess with you. Not everyone digests it well. Dairy makes some people bloat. Fill in with colorful fruits and veggies. Notice I said the protein first. We don't need giant servings. We don't need the salad like this with a little bit of protein on top. That's absolutely going to cause you bloating. That's just too much volume of food. And somebody needed to say it. Somebody needs to say this. You know what? Again, I respect everybody's dietary choices. If what you're doing is working, you're not bloated, you feel amazing, keep doing it. But I will say that in the years, I was vegetarian, sometimes vegan for over 30 years. And during the last few years, when I was focusing on being vegan, I was doing all these raw vegan, all these green smoothies, all of this healthy stuff. I've never been more bloated, and I was underweight. I weighed substantially less than I weigh now. It didn't look good. You could see too much bone. And I had the most bloated belly ever. other than when I was pregnant, that's not bloating, that's a baby. So I was very bloated. I was having too many greens, too much green stuff, just volume, massive volume of kale and things like that. I'm not saying these are bad foods, please understand. And if you're vegan and you feel amazing, you go. But if you are bloated, I would urge you to shift the focus around and not look at giant portions of the fruits and veggies. Um, Another, including, and we're going to talk about this a little, like, and then banish the bloat. We all know foods that make us bloated and gassy. Why are we eating them? For me, grapes. Grapes make me gassy. I don't eat grapes. I mean, occasionally I might put a few chopped red grapes in a fall salad for a little crunch and sweetness. Um, but as a rule, I'm not eating grapes by the handful like a lot of people do. They're delicious, but they make me gassy. So does so do cruciferous veggies in large quantities. Now I just made some steamed broccoli that I am going to enjoy, but I'm not having a giant portion. So it can be healthy foods that bloat you. You generally know what they are. Sometimes unhealthy foods too. And then it's like, why? Why are you doing this to yourself? Why do we do this to ourselves? So this is one of the reasons I'm just going to kind of go all over the place with this and throw out. That's one of the reasons yes, I shameless self-promotion of the Happy Healthy and Hot Journal, which you can grab on Amazon. The link will be below. $14.99 for a 90-day journal that literally can change your life. I write down what I eat every damn day. I'm not looking to lose weight. I am thrilled with my body composition. And I track what I eat every day. Why? Well, for one thing, it's easier to keep the train on the track than to get it back on after it's derailed. If something is working, why do you stop doing it? You don't need to be on a diet and then off, on a program and then off. Happy, healthy, and hot is a lifestyle. It's just the way you live. It's the way I live and it works. It's the way my sister lives and it works. When my clients live this way, it works. This stuff works. I have helped women and men lose weight and keep it off, even post-menopause, even in 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. I haven't worked with anybody one-on-one in their 80s, but there are people absolutely doing this and seeing results. And even better than the weight loss is along with the weight loss, which is great, is the flat belly, the increased energy, no more cravings, mental clarity. And then you start carrying yourself differently. You start wearing cuter clothes. Relationships improve. You get the promotion at work. I've seen so many amazing results from people that have started living this way. It starts with happy for a reason because you are going to feel amazing. So, but the reason I write down what I eat every day is so that I can pay attention. So even if you don't want to write down what you eat all the time, and there are apps, sure, I prefer pen to paper because it forces me to pause for a moment. But if there's an app you like to track your food, great. But it's this whole idea of paying attention to what am I eating? How do I feel? Woke up bloated. What did I eat yesterday? Couldn't sleep. Oh, was it that cold brew at 4 o'clock in the afternoon? Damn straight it was. Just keeping track is so powerful. A study of over 1,600 people showed that those who tracked what they ate lost twice as much weight as those who didn't, but most people aren't doing it. I do it on the regular. I used to do it when I wanted to get back on track, and then I was like, what if I just always did this? Maybe I'll never get that far off track. And lo and behold, nobody's perfect. And we can, when we're keeping track, it builds self-awareness. We can reflect and say what's working, what's not working. So Patty, I would strongly encourage you to start writing down what you're eating every single day. You don't need to rigidly track macros unless you want to. The main macros I track, at least keep an eye on, are protein and calories, because if you stay in range with those, everything else is going to fall into place. But pay attention to what is working for you and what's not working for you. Grains. are inflammatory for a lot of people. Especially me, I don't eat grains at all. I don't care if they're soaked, sprouted, Dave's Killer Bread, Ezekiel bread, that wild fermented sourdough from the farmer's market. I don't eat it. I haven't eaten bread in over a decade. I ate some in Italy until Italy. I ate a little piece of bread in Italy. It wasn't oh yeah, I can have bread. I don't even miss it. I feeling amazing is the best reward. But I had heard from so many people that the bread in Europe won't mess with you. So here I'm in Italy, first night, this beautiful bread dipped in olive oil, and I decided to try it with great intention. And I felt really good. I didn't feel uncomfortable or anything. So I really didn't think anything of it. It wasn't all like, oh, what's this bread going to do to me? Next day, woke up feeling fine, got dressed in a hurry to go to Capri. That night, when we were back in the room and I was undressing to take a quick shower to go back out, we literally ended up dancing in the street in Positano. Super fun night. My belly looked like I was 5 months pregnant. And I was like, that damn bread. I really didn't feel discomfort, but that's what that bread did to me. That's what those grains did to me. You don't have to be celiac to be sensitive to grains. I'm not telling you have to get rid of grains, but I would absolutely pay attention. So I would, to get rid of bloating, I would absolutely first start with prioritizing protein and produce, and then really paying attention because even those healthy foods, even some of the produce, the cruciferous veggies, the kale, maybe it's the quantity, maybe it's the preparation. For me, the grapes. Grapes make me bloated and gassy. I am not available for that. Just not available. Um, and then, so I'd really look at what foods cause you to bloat. Artificial sweeteners can be a big one. Um, I will notice bloat and puffiness just even in my face after certain restaurant meals, no matter how clean that I ate. And it goes down quickly, but just, pay attention. Um, Hydrate between meals. This is a huge one. Old school diet culture, which we don't need to diet, we need a lifestyle, but would tell us to drink a lot of water with our meal or diet soda or tea or whatever it is. You're almost like washing down your food and it's supposed to make you full. Okay, I don't want to be full. I want to be satisfied. There's a difference. But more importantly, when you're drinking all those liquids with your meal, literally washing your food down, you are interfering with the digestive process. You're literally diluting the digestive juices in your stomach, but you're also interfering with the whole chewing. The digestive process actually starts before the food goes in our mouths when we're looking at our food and like, it's gonna be so good. And then we're chewing and we taste it. And the digestive process is beginning. But if we're drinking a lot of liquids, we're just kind of washing that down. We are generally chewing less. Plus, again, filling up our tummies. They don't need to be so full. So we're going to hydrate between meals. This doesn't mean you can't have a sip of water or wine or whatever with your meal, but make it a sip. You don't need to chug. You don't need to wash everything down. So I tend to drink a big glass of water when I first get up before coffee. Hydrate before coffee. Um, a lot of people advocate eating before your coffee. I personally have my coffee before I eat because I don't get hungry for a few hours. That's just me. But so I hydrate first thing in the morning, and then I'm hydrating between meals. And I keep water usually on my bedside table. So if I do wake up a little dry, and then I can have a quick sip and I don't have to disturb my sleep and like get up and rummage around the kitchen. Um, so I really pay attention to all of this, Patty. And then along with watching the foods that make you bloat, um, building that strength in your core with the planks, with the simple abs workout. I work out 5 minutes. I work my abs out 5 minutes a day. That's it. My whole workout is 10 minutes. Like I'm not working out a lot like hard. I'm not at the gym for hours, but I am consistent and I'm building that core strength because when you have that core strength, it's like, as I say, planks are better than spikes. It's like having built in shapewear, but it's going to make things look better too. And then also, if there is belly fat to lose, well, that's no different than other fat. There's no magic fat burning food. You need to get into a calorie deficit, but prioritizing protein and produce, getting the protein from real food is going to help you get there. And remember, protein shakes, powders, bars absolutely can cause bloating. Plus, they're generally not as satisfying because you're just sucking down your food. We are meant to chew our food. That is much more satisfying. Again, I'm not calling out any particular products. There are some good protein shakes out there. I have some protein shake recipes in my second cookbook that don't even use protein powder. For some people that are just like, oh, Elizabeth, I need a quick option for some days. Great, I've got it for you. And there are some good protein powders out there too, but they're not necessary to live this way. So hopefully this helps, Patty. Pay attention. We're not available for bloating. Um, Tiffany asked, how do I keep from getting bored with walking? So many ways, Tiffany. I make it into a game. So I am passionate about walking because it is underrated for our overall health. As a student of ancestral health, walking is a natural movement that our bodies are designed to do. A great goal is 8 to 10,000 steps a day. This just does so many great things for us. I personally have a goal of 15,000 steps a day, but I would encourage anybody to start where they are. Just check the pedometer app on your phone, see what you're averaging, and then try to increase that by about 1,000 steps a day for a week. Say you're at 5,000, get up to 6,000 a day for a week, 7,000, and so on. So how do I keep it from getting boring? Well, first of all, I get a good portion of my steps out of the way first thing in the morning. I'm not even thinking about resisting this or being bored. I get out of bed. My little dog Tyson needs to go for a walk. At this point, I'm dressed for the weather, whatever it is. So Tyson's walk is a lot of sniffing and peeing, how dogs are, especially boy dogs. So when I get in, he gets his little treat. And then I'm already dressed for the weather. I go back out and I keep walking. And here's what I do, and here's why I don't get bored at all. I get up, my brain is in that receptive theta state. I do not look at my phone except maybe to check what the actual temperature is. Like, do I need a hoodie? Like, what do I need? And then I'm going to immediately turn on a recording. There's different stuff that I like. Tiffany, I know I've shared some of this with you already, that I like to listen to when my brain is in that theta receptive state as I'm getting out of bed in the morning. So I'm listening to affirmations or some type of could be a guided meditation. I'll listen while I walk. I'm not laying there, but it's very meditative. And I don't I don't even own AirPods. Because I want to also hear the nature sounds. And sometimes I don't listen to anything, I just do the quiet nature sounds. But my point is this, I'm not even like, I bored isn't even a thing at this point. I'm in this receptive state. And I just find that this is when I'm walking like this is when I get inspired. This is when my intuition takes over. This is when I get the ideas that just make my heart sing, the things that I can't wait to try, whether it's a new recipe, whether it's a message for you, whether, it just, I get everything comes to me then. And it's this restorative time. And I find the more time I spend walking in the morning, the better my day is. People say, how do you find the time? It literally creates time for me. Now I've built in hills into my morning walk, some hills that I make myself do every morning. So that now I'm also getting a cute ass while I walk. So I'm so happy about all this. Like, I'm not bored. And I usually get in around 5,000 steps in my morning walk. I walk a lot in the morning because I like this. You could do it after work, in the evening, whatever. But then the way I get the rest of my steps in is I make it a game. A friend calls, how quickly can I get into my shoes and walk around? If I'm inside my house, if it's snowing, raining, whatever, I can't go out right now. Could I walk up and down the steps while I'm talking, while I'm listening to messages? While I'm leaving voice messages, which I do a lot because it's way easier for me to talk than type. Um, Once a week, I schedule a hilly walk with a friend. It's like 3.5 miles. We do this. It's a commitment that we have. We catch up, we talk, and it's a more challenging walk than I'd be doing on my own. But when you're talking to somebody, it's like you're kind of pushing each other through it. Also, I look for ways to build steps in. Running errands, gonna park my car further. Gonna do an extra lap around Target, Walmart, Costco, wherever. Um, Again, I normalize catching up with your friends for a walk rather than coffee or a drink. You could still do the coffee or drink well, depending on the time of day, I guess, afterwards. But normalize walking dates, normalize with friends. I just like make this a fun way to catch up with people. I don't consider a walking date a romantic date unless it's somebody who is already in your life. I think if some, this is again my opinion. Now you're getting Elizabeth's dating rules, but I will just say, um, a standard that I always had when I was actively dating, um, was I didn't do like meet for a walk or coffee for a first date. Some people like it, it's low key, it's whatever. To me, it was like I wanted somebody to make, first of all, morning time. I want to, if I'm getting coffee, like I drink my coffee by myself. I'm journaling, I'm doing my things. I'm not like that's me time. So is my walk time where I'm walking with a friend and catching up. But to me, I wanted to see somebody put more effort, more creativity, that type of thing. Again, my that's my opinion. It's just a standard that I have personally. You get to decide what your standards are. So we go from walking to dating, all the things. Um, but so I just keep it fun, Tiffany. And you can challenge yourself by walking faster. Some people add a weighted vest. I personally have never done that, although maybe I will one day. Okay, then I got a question about, and I forget this who this was from, although I did already answer in the DMs. I don't eat gluten or dairy. Would your cookbooks still work? So, my cookbooks and every single recipe that I have posted in the almost 10 years that I've been showing up online is gluten free. Every single thing I've posted is gluten free, grain free. So, they're fine for that. Dairy free. Some of my recipes do contain dairy. And here's the thing, I was dairy free for a long time, definitely helped clear up my skin. I thought I couldn't tolerate dairy at all. It is something that does cause bloating and poor digestion for some people. But as I was looking for ways to help my clients get more protein, some of whom did eat and enjoy dairy, I started looking for ways to use the high protein forms of dairy, like Greek yogurt and cottage cheese, in some recipes, which meant I tried dairy. And I found out that, especially with those cultured forms of dairy, I digested it just fine. I don't do huge amounts of dairy, but I did find that it's a great way to boost protein for not a lot of calories, add a nice creamy flavor. It works well too in some like things that taste a little sweeter, like if you want to add some sweetener and still have like a really high protein dish. So there is dairy in some of my recipes, but certainly not all of them. You could substitute some type of a dairy-free yogurt or something, although most of those are not as high in protein. But for those specific recipes, you could do that. So I would say absolutely gluten-free, dairy-free. Some of the recipes of dairy you can pick and choose. These cookbooks have so much more than recipes because they also offer my real life weight loss strategies. These are the strategies that help my clients lose 10 to 35 pounds and keep it off eating real food. The same things that keep me lean and fit at 59, 5 years post-menopause. And if you need a reminder, here are my abs on a random Monday morning after eating breakfast. So yeah, this stuff works. So my cookbooks share all of that as well. You could buy my cookbooks, never make a single recipe, and lose weight just with the strategies that I share. But the recipes are so easy. They're made with real food ingredients. You can grab at your local grocery store, nothing crazy. This is real stuff that works. Okay, last real quick questions. Just over the weekend, I got questions. Elizabeth, what foundation do you use? Your skin always looks flawless. It's Maybelline. It's like $15. It's amazing. I have no primer, no concealer, just this stuff. Also good skin. I didn't always have good skin. My skin got a lot better when I started eating away in a way that supports it, prioritizing protein and produce. But yes, this is my foundation. This is linked in my LTK shop. Elizabeth, how does your skin look so glowy in that video where you're doing the planks? Well, my skin is glowy because it's healthy and moisturized, and it was absolutely I shoot my bikini videos generally in flattering morning light, which always looks a little better. And I always make sure I've got a really nice, like, moisture thing going. If I really want to look glowy, I will use this shimmering, you can see I've used almost all of this shimmering body oil from Salt Air. Day to day, I also really like this cashmere body oil, vanilla cashmere from EOS. I also use, they have a whipped oil that goes on more like frosting. This stuff smells like a cupcake. It's so good. So make sure my skin is really moist. All of these things are linked in my LTK shop. You can always ask me, I'm going to send you the link, but just so you guys know, my LTK shop is housed in the LTK app. If you follow me there, you'll be updated all the time. Like I post all my Instagram stuff, for example, but then I'll put in links to like the shirt, the shorts, the body oil, all of the things. So it's just no brainer. Another question, this is from Tiffany, who also asked about the walking. Tiffany's amazing. She said, what are those glass food storage containers you use that are on Amazon? Well, mine have been around for so long, I can't even find them on Amazon, but I did link some very similar ones. These have changed my life. So this is chicken and broccoli that I'm taking to work. Cooked a chicken breast in some salsa, actually mango habanero salsa. Super low in calories, but just gives a nice moist taste. I've then the leftover broccoli. This will go in my fridge. Just took the stuff out of my fridge, throw it into my eggs tomorrow or whatever. These are some of my 60-calorie egg bites in my cookbook, except I substituted egg whites for the whole eggs, so it brought them down to 40-calorie egg bites. I'm gonna have to post this recipe. So anyway, I love these glass food storage containers. These are all linked to my LTK. These are linked to my LTK. You know, if you want to, I don't do giant meal prep. I don't plan out every meal, but I like to have food ready to grab and go, like these egg bites that are 40 calories, I think 6.5 grams of protein. Yes, please. So I used to use containers, plastic containers, whatever, those Tupperware type things. They get stained and icky, can never find the lids. That doesn't make me happy. They're kind of, that weird finish. You can't quite tell what's in there. These glass storage containers, first of all, glass is so great. It's such a safe material to store your food in. I can see what I have. They stack really nicely in the fridge. And I just feel like I have my shit together. So, even on the days when I don't, because none of us has this shit together all the time. Friendly reminder. Instagram is a highlight reel. I've been keeping it as raw and real as possible to make it less of a highlight reel and more real. Like when I just posted my teary-eyed video when I found out I didn't move on in the Maximum CoverGirl competition. I recorded that 15 minutes after I found out. I had to pull over. I received a really lovely message. And I share stuff like that to show you real life, to show you it's not all rainbows and unicorns and bikinis and even unicorn bikinis. I have one of those. That stuff is great. I love it. Yes, life is short. We wear cute panties. Yes, we love to smell like a cupcake. And sad stuff still happens. We still get hurt. Things don't always work out. But it's, none of us has our shit together perfectly. And we can still continue to make good, loving choices. So that was a lot. I'm off to my part-time server job today. Serving chicken parm with a smile. So have an amazing day. I'll be back tomorrow with another Q&A.